These are the minutes of the October 3rd meeting. The meeting was called to order by George Cormier, who was acting president that evening. The invocation and pledge was given by myself, Susan Moreland. Following the pledge, the minutes of the September 18th meeting were read, also by Susan Moreland. Additionally, Susan read a letter from Area Governor Olivetta Viso, which was addressed to Club President Fran Crocheron. The Treasurer's report was given by Ed Bickford. At 7:20 p.m., a motion was made by Sandra Moore that both reports be accepted as read. The motion was seconded by Lillian Cormier and carried. Barbara Douglas came as a guest and introduced herself to the club. Following the meeting, she completed the work necessary to become an active Toastmaster. We welcome you, Barbara. And if there's any way any of us can help you, please let us know. You have all our phone numbers. George Cormier introduced Sandra Moore, who was acting VP Education and Toastmaster of the evening. Sandra announced that a new schedule had been prepared and asked that we meet afterwards to discuss any changes that need to be made. People below filled the following roles for the evening. Toastmaster was Sandra Moore, General Evaluator Susan Moreland, Table Topics Master Lillian Cormier, Timer Vote Counter Ed Bickford, Counter Sandra Moore, and Word Quiz Master Wes Crocheron. The speakers for Table Topics were George Cormier and Sandra Moore. The main speakers and evaluators were Ed Bickford, doing speech number 8, and he was evaluated by Wes Crocheron. Sarah Corian gave her second speech, and she was evaluated by George Cormier. The best table topic speaker was Sandra Moore. The best main speaker was Sarah Corian, and the best evaluator was George Cormier. Following the educational portion of the meeting, a brief old new business meeting was held, wherein the following items were discussed. The new duty schedule was prepared by Sandra Moore, and as of the November 7th meeting, the new location of each club meeting will be at Lamplighter Park Recreation Center. The meeting was adjourned at 8:22.
Thank you, Susan.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, Barbara, and guests, and honored guests. The theme tonight is All Saints Day. All Saints Day in the Christian Church is the day commemorating all of the saints in the church, both known and unknown. This is celebrated on November the 1st in the Western churches and the first Sunday after Pentecost in the Eastern churches. Its origin cannot be traced with certainty, and it has been observed on various days in different places. The first day of celebration occurred during the reign of Pope Gregory III, 731 through 741, who dedicated a chapel in honor of all saints. In medieval England, this festival was known as All Hallows, and its eve is still known as Halloween. In ancient days, Halloween was thought to be the most favorable time for getting married, and when a person could depend more on having good luck. It was considered to be the only day, though, in which the help of the devil could be invoked. Immigrants to the United States, particularly the Irish, introduced secular Halloween customs that became so popular in the late 19th century. Mischief-making by boys and men included overturning sheds and outhouses and anything that was major done to people's property. In later years, Halloween has been and still is observed mainly by small children who go out trick-or-treating. I find it interesting that All Saints Day, a Christian-based festival, and Halloween, considered by some to be Satanistic, are somehow linked together in time. I was raised in the church, in the Catholic Church, and every year we observed All Saints Day. And doing this little research has really made me stop and think. So I'm going to delve even further into this and see what other information I can find. Now, the general evaluator tonight will be Wes Kirschwan, and later on Wes will explain what his duties are. Susan Moreland is the timer and vote counter. Do anything else tonight, Susan? After table topics and after the main speakers are through, please pass all of your votes into Susan. And she will later tell me who the winners are of each. The word quizmaster tonight is Sandra Moore. Sandra's going to find out if everybody's been paying attention to what all of these people are talking about tonight. And now, I'd like to introduce the table topic person, who is Tom Cormiers. Tom?
Thank you. Toastmaster. Stress. Is that what it is? Toastmaster.
Madam.
Madam Toastmaster. Sure. Well, guess I can call someone. You know, speaking of All Saints Day, something unusual happened recently. Well, you know, you heard the Pope came into town. Pope came to New Jersey, actually, and was around New York and several different venues. And Pope doesn't get an opportunity to drive that often. He was in a limousine and taking around. He did not have the opportunity. He doesn't drive that often. So, because of the tinted windows and everything, he asked the limousine driver if he could drive. You know? And the limousine driver, of course, Pope asked to drive. You let the Pope drive. So he let the Pope drive. And in any case, he turned, he took a right-hand turn, and he turned the wrong way on a one-way street. And naturally, that drew the attention of the New York City Police Department. He pulled him over and walked up to the window and knocked on it, came down, and of course the officer looked inside and was shocked. He ran right back to his cruiser and called the station. And he says, "Sergeant, you can't even believe what I just saw." Sergeant says, "Was he more important than the mayor?" And he goes, "Way more important than the mayor." He says, "But more important than the governor?" He says, "I tell you, more important than the governor. Way more important than the governor. More important than the president?" I'm afraid he is way more important than the president. And so anyways, he says, "Who in the world is it?" He goes, "Well, I don't know, but the Pope's driving him around." I would like to, therefore, I would like to take this grand opportunity, and I won't try with some of the last names, but I would love to call up Sue first to take the first table topic of the evening.
Thank you. I've been asked to speak tonight for approximately 2 minutes about peeled onions. Oh. This is a rather interesting subject, actually, because for me, they make me cry instantly. Instantly. Not only after they're peeled, but also while I am peeling them. There are various families of onions. Some of them make me cry more than others. Vidalia onions are the sweetest, supposedly, but they also make me cry the most. Peeled onions can be used for many things. They can be used in many, many recipes. Primarily, they're excellent with beef. Meals that are made with beef. They're really spiced up by onions. After you peel them, you usually cut them up, either into quarters or some smaller amount. They can be used in a crock pot alongside of roast and just left whole, and they absolutely add to the meal. peeled onions, I suppose they're probably used for medicinal reasons in several countries. I'm not sure if they use them in this country. And I would say that most of the time peeled onions are offensive to people. You peel one out on your counter, most people walk in the door and the first thing they smell is onions. And they'll say, "Oh, who's got the onions?" The onions, they tend to be offensive more than they are agreeable. Even after you ingest them, they become very foul-smelling when you're on a date, in a crowd, when you have to entertain, and you reach for it and you say, "Oh, hi!" Peeled onions can leave a rather drastic effect on your friends and other company. And I think that that's probably about all I have to say about peeled onions.
Well spoken.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I guess there's only one thing to follow that with, and that's inviting West.
Tough one to follow. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, Mr.
Well, that can only lead into one last theme. I guess the theme has already been decided, so we'll go into one last topic. For that topic, I can't resist calling Sandra to the podium. Talk about this very, very special topic.
Thank you, Evan.
Oh, you are so welcome.
Lee has added spice to this meeting today. And the old adage, like father, like son, I can see it. Polish sausage is my topic today. And it's very apropos for me since my husband is Polish. So it's very befitting. I like Polish sausage. I like it pickled with crackers, and it just makes a very nice snack. It comes in all colors and sizes, and usually get them at the fairs. Jerryfield Fair was one of my favorites. But it's a very filling snack. I can't do it. And my husband especially enjoys it. He likes it with kielbasa and Golumkis and all that stuff. Myself, I'm English. I go for the tea and crumpets. I can't take all this hot burnt stuff. I don't think they make it with onions, though. I don't think you get bad breath. But anyways, I'm sure it's the national meat in Poland. I got taken down by a Cormier again.
Madam Toastmaster.
Oh, thank you, Tom.
You're welcome. Oh, that was great.
All right, I'd like you all to vote now for the best table. Please tonight. Please cast your votes over to Susan.
What does that have to do with All Saints Day?
I'm going to give you all a few minutes too, because that's really tough. Those were three really good ones.
Well, what were we doing before that? I didn't get it. Sorry, Toastmasters.
Tonight we only have two main speakers, but I'm sure that we'll enjoy both of them very, very much. Our first speaker is Pam, and she has given her icebreaker speech. She's going to give her second speech tonight, and her second speech is Be in Earnest. The criteria for her speech is to be mindful of her sincerity, earnestness, and confidence. So her evaluator should be looking for all of these things when she evaluates Pam. We missed Pam at our last meeting and we're so happy she's back tonight. The title of Pam's speech is Halfway House is Not in My Neighborhood. Pam and his evaluator will be Sandra Moore, and she needs to be aware that he needs a lot of different vocal variety. We know that he's vocal after his pick arranger speech. He has plenty of vocal variety in that. Now we need to set the scene here. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. George?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. The Crown Royal Cruise Line welcome the Toastmasters International Annual Cruise. We're always really thrilled to have you. We've been hosting you now for 5 years. And I'm going to be your captain. My name is Howard Boozer. That's spelled B-O-O-Z-E-R. Boozer, as in booze. Now it may be a coincidence that today is All Saints Day, but we're headed for the Virgin Islands, to St. Croix, St. Thomas. But we will be cruising through the night through the Bermuda Triangle. Let's hope we don't visit St. Peter. I want to explain to you where you are. You are in the main mezzanine. On my left and your right is what you call the port bow, is the main dining room. And on my right and your left is the main ballroom. So we have to know where we are on this cruise. I want you to go to your room, get comfortable, take your suitcases apart, and let's all meet right back here in about a half an hour. There'll be a cocktail hour and a great get acquainted hour. It'll last about an hour and a half, though. And after that point, you'll go back to your room and get ready for dinner. And we'll meet back here for a cocktail hour.
Boozer.
For about a half an hour. We will go to the main dining room. Before we eat, there'll be a champagne toast so that we can have a safe and pleasant cruise. There'll be dinner wine served with dinner and your choice of cocktails. During dessert, there'll be Irish coffee and a cordial of your choice. And we will come here and just stroll around and chat a little. And we will proceed then to the main ballroom, which there'll be dancing for the evening. So before the music starts, we'll all chat around and have cocktails. And during the dancing and music, the stewards will be passing through and offering cocktails and the choice drink of the evening. And this will go on till about 1:30 in the morning, when you'll hear the last call, where you can pick up a nightcap to bring to your room. And now in the morning at 6:30, the stewards will be at your door for a wake-up call with the Bloody Mary. And you'll proceed to the main dining room again. And there at the table will be screwdriver mixed beer, orange juice, and Bloody Marys, and more drinks if you want. And now the important part of the cruise with us, and we will have enjoyed you through the evening. We would like to take a photo of the group. This is what we use in our promotion. for the Royal Crown Cruise Line need this. And we'd like to have you to come on deck, bring your drinks with you. And while you're having your pictures taken, you'll be facing the sun. And you will see, as you're sitting on your deck chair, as the horizon drops below the bow line, you will probably have your first apparition. Feeling like you're on a yo-yo. But don't, just keep your eye on the photographer, please. The pictures are very important. So we'll sit in a group on your deck chairs. I'm sure you're wondering how you'd like to be, we want you to dress for this photo. So we have a model, 2 people here who've been, they are Toastmasters. They've been with the crew, they came as Toastmasters. They've been with the crew since 1990. And I'd like to now introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. George Cormier. And this is the way we'd like to have you show up on deck, please.